I'll be quick. Congrats to Miami. It's a talented group. I thought they played well. I thought we started the game off pretty well. In the second quarter, we didn't play well enough. I think we went 3 and out 3 times in a row, and we had a chance to make some plays on defense, and they made some plays, and we didn't. I'm proud of the guys the way they fought in the second half. We got the takeaway. We got it to within 14. We had them 3rd and 5 backed up, and then we were right there on that 3rd down, and we slipped. I like to fight. That's what I told them. Miss a lot of those guys, a couple of them who played their last game here. So it was pretty emotional in the locker room afterward. But take any of your questions.
Jeff, obviously you're disappointed at the last 3 losses in a row, but forgetting the fact that you're frustrated with the losses, how frustrated are you the way the games played out in terms of the last 3, how they all occurred?
No, to be honest, I'm just thinking about this game right now. Every game's a totally new season, and disappointed in the way this one turned out. I thought it started well. I thought we executed at a high level coming out on that first drive. I thought we had a chance to stop them several times. We got them in the 4th down. And they made more plays than we did. I mean, we had opportunities to get off the field and we didn't. I appreciate the fight in the team. That one could have opened up really quick, and they came back. And but I can't combine 3 games and piece them all together like that. I appreciate and honestly respect your question, though. I just being honest with you.
Jeff, was this a tough matchup for you guys defensively? They're good against the run, and that's where your bread and butter's been. But was this a tough matchup for Kai?
Well, give Kai some credit. He only had 4 carries for 8 yards. Kai's battling the flu and slept in 3 days. I wasn't sure this morning when he woke up if he was going to go, and he tried to go. And that's not an excuse. We should have run the ball better than we did. I was concerned. We had Jalen Cheek was out today, and with some of the depth at DB, I was concerned about some of those. It's a good receiving group, and obviously that showed today. They made more plays than we did. That was probably my biggest concern with our depth right there, with the safeties being out, the corners being out. I liked the way the young guys came in and fought. They ran some good routes. They caught some good balls. But I still, I thought we could have run the ball. Those 3 and outs, those were critical. Those hurt us. It kind of took us out of our game, and the defense was on the field for a pretty good stretch there in the second quarter. When the game got the way it was, we haven't been built very well to come back like that, but we need to be.
You'd still find yourself in a tough bowl game with a school like SMU or Memphis if you play at Fenway. Just talk about what you're going to do with these 15 gift bonus practices.
Yeah, that's a good question, Rich. One, I want to get healthy. We got to get some guys back, and then 2, the practices are just as important as the bowl game. You get a good amount of practices to really just improve and get better and get some other guys ready to go and see what some new guys maybe can do in the bowl game, get some guys healthy. But the practices are critical, and then wherever we go and whoever we play, we got to get a win. And we'll go in full speed ahead. I don't anticipate a lot of guys opting out and not playing in the bowl like you hear about. Our guys are going to want to go play. The practices will be key, and wherever we go, whoever we play, that would be the focus.
You mentioned that was an emotional locker room. Can you elaborate on that? Did anyone say anything in particular, or just what was the mood like in there?
It was quiet. There's only a handful of guys where this is really going to be it for them. I anticipate a lot of these guys coming back. But for the handful of guys that have played their last game, you could see they're going around hugging each other. The young guys were going around hugging the older guys. Guys like Minnie and Christian and maybe some of the guys that really haven't gotten in too much, but they've also been a big part of the program. I mean, there are a lot of seniors that walked out of there today that not necessarily got a lot of time, but they were a big part of Boston College football. And those guys are just as emotional because for some of them it's going to be the last time they ever put on a football helmet. You got to win games. That's that's what we do. But when you're in a locker room like that, sometimes the scoreboard isn't, to those guys in that moment, it's not everything. It's their brothers. It's the last time they'll be in a locker room. It's the last time they'll put on a helmet. It's the last time they'll be involved in a football game, which they've done probably since 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. That is an emotional time, and I appreciate all those guys, not just the guys who play. I appreciate all the guys who walked on and all the guys who gave it their all for us.
Coach, you mentioned that, the second quarter thing with 3-0. Was there something in particular that just kind of was working on in the beginning that just wasn't working, or what was it?
Lack of execution. We had a chance. That's what I saw. I'd have to go back and really look at it. Maybe some calls that we'd like back or make better calls, I'm sure. But also, combination. I cannot recall those plays right now off the top of my head too clearly to give you a really solid answer on that. So sorry about that.
Coach, in terms of the older guys,
Say the start again.
In terms of the older guys,
Yeah.
if they do want to sit on a bowl game, will you have conversations with them, this week, or kind of wait and see where the bowl is and all that, and then kind of make that decision?
There's not many of them, and I don't anticipate really having many of those conversations. I think it's going to be hard to keep a guy like Vinny DePalma from not trying to end his career with a win. I think each case is individualized. I think anytime you get a chance to play football, you go play football, but I certainly understand, so we'll have them. I just don't anticipate there being very many.
Coach, where do you go from here in terms of the whole practices? I mean, it's 15 practices. You guys go back to the fundamentals for those first few practices and try to get back to some of the stuff you were doing earlier in the years as part of your preparation?
We're always working on fundamentals and technique. I mean, we were live tackling this week in practice. I think fundamentals and technique are the most important part of football, so we'll go back and certainly work fundamentals and technique. And then we'll do some good on good. We're not just going to be prepping for our opponent. We'll get 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s, get young guys better. I think it also gives us the time to finally, like the bye week, catch our breath, figure out who we have in right now and what can we do best with who we have to give our guys the best chance to win. Whether it's the quarterback, whether it's the defense right now with some of the injuries. You don't have time during a short week or a 4-day week to really change what you do, but now you kind of know what you have going into that game. We can certainly coach better as well and put in some different things. So it'll be a combination of all of them.
What about
You go ahead.
what about the rest of that time too? I know that we still don't know the bowl. There's obviously still some time. What's kind of on the immediate schedule before even all that comes into play? Or
For-
just get away from football for a couple days, or is there
For the
in the break here?
For the players?
Yeah, players, coaches, what's kind of the schedule here?
Yeah. Players got school. Players going to start to have finals. School's hard here. They got a lot of work to do, and they need to focus on that and make sure that they're in good shape academically. And then for the coaches, we'll clean it up, and then recruiting starts. So it's a combination of recruiting and getting ready to coach our players. And for the players, it's getting healthy, school, and getting ready to play one more game.
When you look at today, regular season ends, you said you're focusing on today, but 6 wins, what does that mean to you? What do you say to that number?
Gets us in a bowl game. We're gonna go get 7.